Le groupe Formula One, la F1 et Amazon Web Services AWS, la division cloud d'Amazon, ont annoncé et officialisé ce 23 juin l'arrivée de 6 nouvelles statistiques pour la Formule 1, des statistiques de course en temps réel qui vont être introduites jusqu'à la fin de la saison et ce dès la reprise de celle-ci. Ce sera au début du mois de juillet en Autriche. Ces statistiques qui évolueront grâce au machine learning aideront à la prise de décision et aussi seront accessibles aux fans, aux spectateurs de la Formule 1. Pour en parler et évoquer certaines de ces fonctionnalités, nous avons interviewé Rob Smedley, ingénieur en chef passé par Williams et la Scuderia Ferrari et aujourd'hui conseiller technique pour la Formule 1. C'est parti, interview. Bonjour Rob, merci de répondre à nos questions. C'est un plaisir de vous avoir à nos côtés.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Smedley. Thank you for having me and thanks for talking to me today.
Alors il y a la présentation de ces 6 nouvelles statistiques de course en temps réel qui vont être introduites jusqu'à la fin de la saison, qui s'amélioreront avec le temps et avec le machine learning. Nous allons donc en présenter quelques-unes, notamment les 3 premières qui sont entre guillemets les 3 plus importantes on va dire. Mais avant ça Rob, pour commencer, pouvez-vous nous dire ce que permet le partenariat aujourd'hui actif entre la F1, entre F1 et AWS et à quelles informations nous, aujourd'hui, spectateurs, par exemple, avons-nous accès et comment y a-t-on accès donc vraiment du point de vue du spectateur et du fan de la F1.
The whole collaboration between AWS and Formula One is all about playing to the strengths. They're two really iconic brands. They're two huge brands, and AWS has a huge amount to offer into Formula One, and Formula One has a huge amount to offer in return to AWS. So I think it's really key that we see this as a collaboration in how we're going to build out these insights. So and the process for building out these insights is to start to leverage the terabytes and terabytes of data that we produce every single hour that the car's on the track, 200 to 300 sensors on every single car, telling us every little bit of detail about those cars. We understand that the Formula One fan doesn't just consume Formula One through a linear feed on a Sunday afternoon, like we used to 10 years or 20 years ago. It's very different now. We want to get these insights into all sorts of different platforms. So yeah, we want them on linear TV and digital TV, but we also want them across the various other digital platforms, across the apps, across the websites.
Alors la première de ces 6 nouvelles statistiques se nomme Car Performance Ranking. Elle sera introduite donc le 3 juillet lors du Grand Prix d'Autriche et permettra aux fans de comparer les performances d'un véhicule à un autre. C'est bien ça, Rob?
Yes. That essentially gives us the insight as to how this lap time is made up. So we know the lap time of a Mercedes, and we know the lap time of a Ferrari, and we even know the lap time of an Alfa Romeo because we see that on the screen. But we want to give you some more insight as to how those lap times are made up. So as engineers, we're interested in certain sectors of the track. So in the low speed corner, in the medium speed corner, in the high speed corner, in a straight line. These are the 4 principal sectors of how the track's made up. And it's really insightful because you'll quite often see that the best car, in terms of the lap time, won't be the best in every single sector. So if you take last year as a great example, in a straight line, we would have been able to objectively illustrate that Ferrari was much better in a straight line than the Mercedes was. But the Mercedes had the better overall.
Alors la seconde statistique, Rob, Ultimate Driver Speed Comparison, elle est juste formidable, je trouve, Rob, parce qu'elle permet cette fois de se comparer non pas aux pilotes de la saison actuelle, du plateau actuel, mais aux pilotes qui ont marqué l'histoire depuis 1983. Et ça c'est fou. Donc si, admettons, je suis fan de Sebastian Vettel, je pourrais comparer ses performances avec celles de Schumacher, Prost, Hill, Senna, Mansell.
The plan is that, around the Silverstone Grand Prix, we're going to be introducing what we've called the ultimate qualifying driver. So this is very much about the driver performance, and we're using machine learning and branches of analytics to be able to compare any driver against any other driver. And we're starting off from current day and going all the way back to 1983 with a plan to extend before that. But this is going to be a really good graphic. I mean, you're going to, exactly as you just said, if you want to compare Sebastian Vettel, Alain Prost, or Ayrton Senna, what the machine learning analytics give you in terms of 2 current drivers on the grid. Let's have a look at Sebastian Vettel versus Lewis Hamilton. We can do that as well. It's a mathematical model and a physical model, which we've derived through machine learning. Can it be 100% correct? Will it give us the overall picture? Of course it won't. But what it will give us a really, really good insight, you know, as to when we take the car out, when we take the car effect out, how good these drivers really are.
Alors, dernière statistique que nous allons évoquer, puisque nous sommes un petit peu pris par le temps, et bien sûr, tous les détails des autres statistiques seront à retrouver sur notre article, sur clubgeek.com, bien entendu. Donc, la dernière statistique, c'est le Driver Skills Rating, qui est une statistique qui va permettre, grâce à plusieurs paramètres, en fait, hein, comme la gestion des pneumatiques ou les dépassements, eh bien, d'avoir des infos non pas sur la voiture, mais sur le pilote, pour étudier, en fait, en quelque sorte, son pilotage. Alors, grosso modo, à quoi nous servira cette statistique globale, Rob?
I really like the driver skills rating. I mean, we're going to introduce that later on in the year as well. And I think again, it's a little bit similar to the car performance ratings. When you take the driver, you know, we all know that, you know, the Lewis Hamilton is a great driver. There's no question about that. Or Sebastian Vettel is a great driver. There's no question about that. But let's drill down into the key elements that make up a great driver. You know, so how good is Lewis compared to anybody else as a qualifying driver over a single lap? How good is he on lap one of the race? You know, is he better than other people on that lap one of the race? How good is he at overtaking? How good is he at defending? How good is he at looking after the tires?
Alors ma dernière question est un peu philosophique, hein, Rob. C'est vrai que ces dernières années, on s'appuyait plutôt sur des mécaniciens purs, hein, en Formule 1. Et aujourd'hui, on fait davantage appel, il y a des mécaniciens bien sûr, mais on fait davantage appel à des experts de la donnée, hein, des data experts. Les temps ont véritablement changé. Et vous, Rob Smedley, comment vous voyez la F1 des 10, 15 ou 20 prochaines années?
You're absolutely right. You know, if you go back to 20 years or 30 years, let's go back. Data played such a small part in Formula One. You know, it was more about intuition and just really, really clever guys understanding intuitively how to design, you know, brilliant Formula One cars. And the mechanics, you know, were you know, probably the most important aspect of the car. You know, we go forward in time now to where we are now. Data plays a much more profound role in the development of the cars, in the development of the sport. And the mechanics, you know, still carry that you know, all important status of building the cars and putting them together. But you've got much more importance with data. The DNA of a Formula One car, or as Formula One the sport, it hasn't changed over all of that time. You know, we've just got more detailed and we've got more into the marginal gains, and that's why we need to, you know, we've got this big data problem that we need to extract. But the reality is that the DNA hasn't actually changed. So if we fast forward to the next 70 years, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like. I can tell you that data will still be playing a role, probably a bigger role than what it plays now, because we'll have all sorts of new technology and methodologies of utilizing that data. But one thing that we can say for absolutely certain is the DNA of Formula One won't change.
Très bien, un grand merci Rob Smedley pour votre temps, pour vos réponses, pour votre passion bien entendu pour la Formule 1, pour les données, pour l'ingénierie, pour la technique. C'était un plaisir de vous recevoir, on vous souhaite bonne continuation et encore merci.
You're really welcome. Thank you very much.
Au revoir Rob.
All right, bye-bye.